Yeah, we're live.
Welcome back, guys. We're back. We're back in the lab again. We're about to cook, and as we like to do this. We try to stay consistent, of course, and we'll be back on a steady schedule here pretty soon. But we have a very special topic for you guys today. We've been foreshadowing it for a little bit, for a while now, with random conversations we've had featuring this or different aspects of this one particular topic. And so for today, as usual, you have yours truly, myself, and my wonderful co-host Raven. How you doing today, brother?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Doing great.
Nice, nice. And what we're going to talk about today is a topic that's very near and dear to our hearts. Actually, let me scratch that. That's near and dear to my brother Raven's heart because every chance
Ah,
that we get into it, a brother gets heated. He's very passionate about this. And it's the topic of My Hero Academia. It's kind of a
oh
hot
my
potato
God.
topic on this podcast. Yes, it is. And you know it too. You know it too. I do have certain. I don't even want to say controversial topics because I feel like anybody who's a fan of quality storytelling agrees with me. However, I do have some interesting takes that many people in the diehard My Hero fandom would disagree with.
Yeah.
But yeah, but the topic for today, essentially, what we're going to be discussing is why does My Hero fall short?
Wow.
Because on paper, we feel like it has all the ingredients to be a successful story. But as we speak, we're in the final stages of said story, and nobody really talks about it. Even the diehard fans have quieted down because, as delusional as they are, you can only be so delusional to reality until it slaps you in the face, right? So
Yep.
they realize that their story isn't as amazing as they thought it was.
Uh-oh.
Oh yes, it was an accumulation. It's like when you keep having your hopes betrayed over and over, but you want to turn a blind eye because you believe in the potential. You believe that it will get better eventually, but then it never does, and eventually you have to face the reality that this is what you have to work with, right?
Yeah.
So, I with that being out there now, Raven, I have a question for you,
What's that?
and I need you to answer this in the most serious way possible, right?
Oh God.
I need you to tell me who is your favorite hero and your favorite villain in the story,
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
and
What
why.
this?
I knew it. I knew it. Like already, you're you're seething inside because you. I know what you want to actually tell me. It's like there's nothing good. Why you want me to lie?
Yeah.
But no, that's why I preface my question with please try to be serious and
Let me see.
honest.
All right. So here's the thing. You know what? The crazy thing is
Uh-huh.
that when it comes to villains, I think that's what's hard for me to pick because when it comes to heroes, there's a lot of heroes that I like.
Ooh.
I like Todoroki. Even though I don't like what they do with his character, I feel like he's kind of like Renji from Bleach, where like he's so cool in the beginning and he's so strong, and then after that arc, he's absolutely useless. Like he just gets into fights and he's used as like oh hey, this guy's strong. Look at him get absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it's to just show how
He's
strong
a
the
hype
villain
tool
is.
for somebody. Yeah.
It's like Vegeta. Like it's like a just he's becomes a plot device to set up for like the big fight, and
And I
it's
feel like when they
ridiculous.
do it with Vegeta, it's so disrespectful because he's such a prideful and strong character that when they do it, it just hurts my soul, man. It hurts my spirit.
Yeah, so I like him. Bakugo. Is that his name, Bakugo?
Yeah.
Well, I thought for a second it was Bakugan, but that's another
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yakugan.
another
That's a
series.
different thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't like Bakugo at first because, and this is one of my first problems with the series. Like initially, that Deku was getting bullied, like to no end,
Yeah.
and he did nothing about it. He did absolutely nothing, and that's something. When I look at a series, it's not just a shonen, a series that I like,
Hmm.
especially growing up as a kid, and especially
Yeah.
with shonen actually in particular. I look for stories where I relate to the main character. And when I see Deku basically just letting people walk all over him, I can't relate to that, man. So I hated that. And I hated Bakugo at first. It was like Naruto with Sasuke all over again. Where I was like, man, I hate Sasuke, man. He like Naruto's the best. He's gonna be like the Hokage or whatever. Like I believe in him, you know?
Hmm.
Because I put myself in Naruto's shoes. So I try to see things through Deku's lens. But man, he's just such a little freaking squirt, man. He's a weasel. He's a weasel if I've ever seen one. And I couldn't relate to him. And at some point, it clicked. I was like, you know what? I see the greatness of Bakugo. This is how Deku deserves to be treated, like complete
Hmm.
utter trash. He is complete trash. So I like Bakugo, Todoroki. In terms of the girls, I like is it Suyu, the
The
frog?
frog. Yeah, I like her too.
The design is epic.
For
Eh,
so many reasons. Let me emphasize that. For so many reasons. But yeah,
Oh,
go ahead. Yeah, you know. You know. You know what I'm talking about.
yeah, I've seen those fan
Hmm.
arts, but
Yes.
the fan like people go crazy with the fan art. The tongue is insane, dude. People
Dude,
make the
even
tongue like
in the
go.
story, like they did some filler episodes, brother. Uh-uh.
Oh my god.
They took some creative liberties. Let me just leave it at that.
Oh Jesus, Murphy. Well, like a beach episode or something.
There was water involved, but it wasn't a beach episode. It was a
Oh
mission
hell no.
actually, and there was a scene where she gets pinned against the wall of a boat or something, and her facial expression. Let me just say that it looked like she had a long night. But um, yeah. So you like Suyu?
I like Suyu. I like Suyu.
What about
Um,
Momo Yayorozu, the girl that creates?
yeah, she's cool. She's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's not my favorite. She's kind of useless. I'm not gonna lie. Like she wins some fights here and there, but she's absolutely useless.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, you know who
I
I
like the
like?
Poison Girl. Who?
I do like the Poison Girl. You know who I like? Who a lot of people, and this is gonna show you that I'm unbiased when it comes to My Hero Academia because I like this
Uh,
character a lot, and this will
Toga.
show you. No, not Toga. Hell no. I
Who?
actually don't like Toga. This
Uh,
this is the thing that will show you that I'm actually completely unbiased and rational when it
let's
comes to
hear
My
it.
Hero.
Uh-huh.
Because the two big characters that people love, I don't like. I don't
Hmm.
like Toga and I don't like Stain. I think Stain is one of the worst villains I've ever
So we're
seen in my
gonna have
life.
a conversation about that, but yeah, tell me who it is that you like that makes you unbiased.
But you know who I like? I like
Hmm.
Jiro. You know the girl with the headphones for ears?
She's cool.
I do
She's
like Jiro a
cool.
lot. And I actually like that little scene where after the overhaul arc, who he's
Hmm.
probably one of the only villains that I really like.
Yeah.
Um After the overhaul arc, I do like Twice is Twice the duplicate guy?
Yeah.
Like the Deadpool kind of guy, yeah. That I like that
Yes.
like storyline. That's pretty cool, pretty well implemented into the towards the end. But there was that little scene where they did the concert at the end of Overhaul arc. It was what was
Yeah.
that? That Gentle was that the villain?
That was the villain. Yes.
He was pretty cool for that. It was its own arc. It wasn't even. It was the its own arc within the end of the Overhaul arc, and they
Hmm.
did a concert, and Jiro was like playing the guitar. So like I just thought that was really cool, and it fit the vibe and the theme of the story. It kind of made it feel like you were in a high school for once, which is like something
Hmm.
that I felt the story lacked from the beginning.
Oh, dude, I agree 100%. Oh, yes. I feel like we get so focused on, I mean, in some aspects, it makes sense that we get focused on the fact that they're heroes or they're aspiring heroes who are working their way up to become prominent. However, it's in the name, academia. Where is the academia, brother? I don't
There's no
see it.
academia.
So, yeah, no, I agree. It
Teddy,
was totally lacking. But
explain this, man. Look at this. Look
what?
at the villains here. Can you see the screen?
I can.
I'm sharing the screen. So you have All for One, Toga, Muscular, Overhaul, the League of Villains, all these people, right?
Hmm.
And then the villain list is so bad that look at this. Do you see what I'm highlighting? Mustard. There's just mustard as a
Oh
like
no.
mustard itself.
No, I think I know. There's no way. I think there is some guy in the story whose name is Mustard, but they did him wrong, man. They did
Bro,
him
there
dirty.
there is it's literal mustard. Mustard.
You
Look at
know
that.
when you
Is a
when
condiment.
it's your worst enemy if you can't handle a little bit of heat.
Oh
Uh,
god.
no, actually, yo, mustard, in my opinion, is an underrated condiment.
Oh, it is. It's great.
When you use it in tasteful amounts, it can make the world of a difference. Um, but so I have a question though. Do you think there's a little bit of bias there because you're really into music, and that happens to be Jiro's thing?
No. I mean that does play a part into it, but I think everything about the character is great, like the design, because think about it this way, there's tons of like music anime,
Hmm.
but I actually don't like those. Like I don't watch those at all. I don't really like that stuff. But like
Hmm.
stuff like Angel Beats, for example, which is like music heavy,
Yeah.
like it's a plus that it's music heavy because it's a great anime. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So like it won't make me like something automatically, but you know, it obviously is a plus. So in Jiro, like I do recognize it's a plus for sure. But I think the design, I think out of all of the classmates that they have in is it class 1A?
Hmm.
She kind of really feels organic, like she exists, you know? And I get
Yeah.
it. With a big cast, I'm not gonna complain and say like like with Naruto, like Naruto I feel like has this problem big time, more so than My Hero, where like you have this big cast and most of them don't do anything. And it's just like Naruto and Sasuke. I feel like My Hero, um, you know, everybody gets their shine for the most part. Uh and even if they don't, I don't feel like it's necessary. I feel like, you know, not everybody needs to shine at they're called supporting characters for a reason. They're there to support the main character. And I think she's
Yeah.
one of those great supporting characters that doesn't just like fade away into the background like some of them. Like I think there's this one dude that he's like his only power is that he's a rock or something. Like it's
Yeah.
just absolutely useless, dude. Let me look
It
at
is
class
pretty
1A.
useless. It is
Like
pretty useless. While you look that up, um, it is one thing that I've noticed that you haven't mentioned. You haven't mentioned Ochako.
oh, I do love Uraraka.
Or yeah,
I was
yeah.
gonna say Urahara, which
No,
I
that's a
wish
goat
we're
from a different
yeah, I
story.
wish we were
Yeah.
talking about that story because Jesus Murphy, this is bleak
Uh,
with
yeah.
my hero. But
Yeah.
let me see. Yeah, man, I do. Okay, so here we have the thing. I'm gonna pull it up on screen, and then we'll be able to see because here, and this is the thing again in My Hero's defense, you don't have to have all of these characters get shine, and I think My Hero actually does a great job of balancing the cast.
Hmm.
Um, but this dude, look at this Koji Koda, Riridiku Sato. I mean, these dudes are useless. You know,
Oh yeah.
Hanta,
They're
Hanta
they're
Sarah. Oh my god.
very forgettable. Cero, I feel like he had some cool moments where he would swing around like Spider-Man, and that's why I remember him. But them other two, the sugar dude and the rock dude, oh man,
Yeah. What does
absolutely mid.
Kaminari do again?
Oh dude, lightning,
Oh, the lightning.
electricity. Yeah, yeah,
I remember Aoyama, the belly button thing. Oh, it was
yeah.
ridiculous.
It is kind
What's
of silly.
is Ojiro the tail guy? The guy with the tail
Yeah,
or something? Oh my
yeah.
god. And this dude, I never seen this dude do anything. Mezzo Shoji, like,
The
yeah, oh
guy with
yeah,
multiple limbs.
yeah. I open up the manga and I'm looking for that Mezzo Shoji moment. Oh yeah, I know he's about to fuck some shit up.
You
Like
know what's
he's not gonna
crazy?
do nothing.
As much as I agree with you, I know there's an unfortunate soul out there who's this guy is their favorite character.
You got to be kidding me. He
I
looks like
know.
bootleg Kakashi.
Yeah,
He literally
he
has the gray hair, one eye,
Kakashi from
mask
Wish.
from
When they say
freaking
we got
Timu,
Kakashi at home, that's him.
bruh.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah, yeah, the best girl here.
mm-hmm.
Toru Hagakure.
But I'm surprised that um, there's one particular character that I feel like even people who don't necessarily love My Hero agree is one of the better characters on the hero side.
Don't say Mineta.
No, no,
Thank God.
I was I was not about to show. Although I feel like the Mineta hate is
Unprecedented.
exaggerated. Yeah, unprecedented, and it's a bit over the top, in my opinion. He's obviously a guy character. There are literally moments in the story where he breaks the fourth wall. There was a scene, I think it was when they were getting ready for the little high school concert they were going to do,
Yeah.
where they were trying to assign roles and decide who would play the bass, who would play the guitar, and this and that. And Mineta had a moment where he grabbed the guitar and then it was you know those comedic spotlights that they do sometimes in stories. So
Yeah.
they put that on him and he was like, I would play the guitar, but the guy who designed me did not give me the anatomy to do so. I was like,
Bruh.
oh, I love that. And to me, that moment was encapsulated everything that Mineta represents. He's supposed to be comedic relief. And I don't understand why people get so angry about him because he's a bit of a lecher. He's a perv, but we've seen many pervs in anime and manga, so I don't understand why he gets that much hate. Maybe because he's a little bit more aggressive with it. But you know that's kind of what he does. It's his thing. So I don't understand why people hate him. I understand
I
not
think
liking a character, but just that visceral hate, that's a bit much in my
you know what
opinion.
I think it is, and
Mm.
it's the problem with My Hero Academia as a whole, Teddy. It
What?
is the amount of hormonal soybean product that is in My
Oh,
Hero
here we
Academia,
go.
bro. So listen to this. And here you're gonna be able to understand these certain things. And I mean, Teddy, you see these certain things, they're incredible. And you see them sometimes and you say, wow, incredible. These things are incredible. And look at Naruto, right? Who's the
Hmm.
perv there?
Oh,
Jiraiya.
yeah, he's a goat.
Who's the perv in One Piece?
Sanji,
Sanji.
another goat.
These dudes are all like, like they're it's a like you they walk in a room and you're like, everybody step to the side. There's a man working here, there's a man
Yeah.
at work.
You know
Minato
who's
walks
also
in, he's
yeah.
just a scrub. Nobody, no, like there's nothing cool about him for most people,
Yeah, so he doesn't have any compensating factor for the fact that he's a helpless perv. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, like he has the comedy. I'll give him that. Like he's funny and like and
He's
there's other
hilarious.
moments. And he had
Yeah,
his moment where he was really trying and he had like a time to shine. But the thing is, we don't want to see that, man. We don't want to see this because the thing is, you have too many soft characters like Deku, and all these fools who are like Soylent. It's like you're drinking nothing but Soylent when you watch My Hero Academia. Soy, soy, soy. Oh my god, you know
that's aggressive.
where's the milk? Where's the real milk with high protein,
The
high
whole
fat?
milk that's gonna mess up my gut.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
This is gonna start bubbling, bubbling.
I'm gonna
Like
be sitting on the toilet for days. Uh, yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I was about to say like quick side tangent where we talk about pervy characters that do have a cool factor to them. Kisuke Urahara, he is a massive perv, but he's so
menace.
tasteful with it you don't realize it.
He's tasteful, yeah.
Because in the manga, the outfit he designed for Orihime,
Yeah, it was specifically,
ah,
for those
to
reasons.
emphasize the assets. The man is a menace. But he's so low key with it, you don't realize it. And he's so cool that it's forgiven or forgotten or both, because people are thinking, hey, he's cool with it, so we ain't mad at it, right? No,
Yeah,
but no, the character that I'm surprised we didn't mention when we're talking about heroes that we like, I'm surprised you didn't mention
Aizawa.
Endeavor. No,
Oh,
Endeavor.
Endeavor.
Yeah.
Endeavor's great. I do. He adds a layer. Like this is the thing about Endeavor. A lot
Hmm.
of people they criticize his character and say, "Well, I don't like his decisions. I don't like his choices." Well, that's not like that's a personal like you just don't like him. Like you don't like his decision. You don't like his. But as a character, when it comes to the story, he adds so much complexity
Yeah.
because he's not very likable. He's not a very likable dude, but obviously, he does come around for me at the very least. I know for a lot of people, he still hasn't really come around. Like they're still like, no, I still don't, get why he
Hmm.
does what he does or anything, or I don't just don't agree. Um, but the problem is with Endeavor is that his family is it's just weird, man. It's just really weird. The whole Dobby storyline and everything now. It didn't add up to anything that was outstanding or deserving of his character because dude, remember that. And I hate these villains. What are the villains? They're just black blobs.
The Nomu.
Oh my god. The no even just the name is cringe. Like
I kind of mess with the name though. I ain't gonna
you
lie.
mess with the name? So
Yeah,
you're
I
telling
like the
me
name.
you asked me Raven, what who's that coming right there? And I'm like, Teddy, watch out. It's the Nomu. And you're
See,
gonna be shitting your
you
pants?
trying to clown on it, but I promise you, man, there's aura behind that name. I ain't
There's
gonna lie to
aura.
you.
Bro, I don't know what kind of voodoo they did on that name to get you to be scared of that, but I don't know, man.
It's not scary, but when I hear the name Nomu, it's I don't know. There's a weight to it
You
where
think
I
so?
feel like you know what I think. I think the name is cool. It's just what they're standing in the story is why it's hard to take them seriously because they're kind of brain dead and I mean they're cool for a hot second, but then they don't amount to much in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue. But the name alone, sometimes I feel like the name is wasted on them because I like the name, but what they do, I don't know.
They're just so dumb. Like even the idea is not bad. Like it's like obviously they're strong villains because they have the what is it? They have the All Might cells or something.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're basically like kind of like who's that Superman villain? Doomsday. Like where they just kind of get
Yeah,
stronger the more you
get
beat
stronger
them.
with it. Yeah, kind
Like
of like that.
I
And
get it.
what you just um those two aspects of the story you just mentioned, everything the drama with Endeavor's family and the Nomu,
Yeah.
they are symptoms of one particular issue that I have with the story. And I think I remember Gigok mentioned that on the Trash Taste podcast
What did you mention?
why My Hero didn't work in his opinion.
Wow.
And that is unrealized potential. Horikoshi sets a lot of interesting concepts in motion in his story, but he always fails to stick the landing. And that's my problem with him.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good in the story. There are many interesting plot lines that get set up, really interesting ideas, but then he doesn't deliver on them the way he should based on how great those ideas are. And that's why it's so upsetting because My Hero isn't the first story that I've seen that I didn't feel one way or another about. I didn't feel particularly anything for. But it's because you see the potential, you see what it could be, and then it doesn't amount to anything near that. And
Yeah.
that's where we have a problem. One of the reasons I like Himiko Toga, it's not because of who she is, it's because of what she represents. Because if you're not too familiar with her story, I'll just summarize it real quick. You know that her quirk is sucking people's blood and assimilating either their likeness, and then when it evolved, also their ability for a little bit. So the thing about her is that she became a villain by default because she's not evil at heart, she's not. It's unfortunate that the quirk that she possesses makes it seem that way, but
Yeah.
it's explained in the story that she can't help being the way that she is. Basically, that when she loves something or someone, her way of expressing that love is to suck up their blood. And to
Oh.
me, I felt like that was a really dope concept because how do you rehabilitate somebody like that? How do you help them become a productive member of society without denying who they are as a person at their core? It's a lot of mental health questions that come up uh, with her
Yeah, it's
character.
very deep, very thematic, very
Yeah,
complex.
and so I was thinking, wow, Horikoshi's cooking with. I remember reading the manga on that, when he got to that part, and there was a scene where Toga tricks Uraraka in the alleyway because she wants to talk to her and ask her, "Yo, can somebody like me be saved too? Like, or do I have to be a villain?" And I remember at the time, Uraraka's answer was that what was it? And she was just in a rush, right? Because she was trying to save people's lives, and Toga was in the way. So she told her, "Listen, I don't have time for this nonsense. If you're gonna get in my way and hurt people, I'm just gonna handle you, and that's that." And so Toga gave up. She thought to herself, "Oh wow, so this is what it amounts to at the end of the day. I can't, I can't be saved. I can't be
Yeah.
redeemed. So I have to be a villain." And then on the opposite end of that, you have a guy like Shinso who has a quirk that everybody's told him, wow, you would make such a great villain with the ability to command people with your voice. But he doesn't want to be a villain,
Well,
you know? And so it's having characters like that. And going to what I was saying about, missed opportunities and not realizing potential, you could have those two characters confront each other. That wouldn't be that far fetched, especially because they're having a all out war in the story right now, where you can see how they can share their different perspectives on life because they're two opposite sides of the same coin. And that's what's so upsetting with Horikoshi sometimes, where you have gorgeous pieces on the board, but you're not using them the way you should.
but why?
And
Why
it's
do you think?
hilarious. I think he gets really excited about the ideas. I hate to speak uh, from the
For him?
perspective of a yeah for him because I feel like I would have a better understanding of how his mind works if I create a story of my own. But just based on everything that I've consumed so far, I think that he he has he has a little bit of an internal conflict where there are the great ideas that he sets in motion in the story, and then there is where he wants the story to go. And a lot of times they don't mesh together. Those two visions don't mesh together. And that's where we have those issues where he introduces something, but then it doesn't amount to much or to as much as it should based on how great of an idea it is,
Well,
if that makes sense.
do you think that maybe the story's too contained? Like, for example, Teddy, My Hero compared to like Hunter x Hunter, which a lot of people do, they say My Hero is better than. They were saying at one point My Hero has the potential to surpass Hunter x Hunter, and you know, diehard fanboys are saying it's even better. But
Hmm.
so in My Hero, it's very contained to where like these certain side characters that are introduced or even villains that are introduced, they are present in every arc pretty much.
Hmm.
So there's always going to be that stimulus, and in every arc, you can't have everybody shine. Whereas take Hunter x Hunter for example, right?
Yeah.
It's a much it's the same size of world. The thing is, Togashi just spreads the story out across the world, and he doesn't contain it into just one city with all the characters being present during every single arc. So like you don't have to make excuses for like, oh, this person, they couldn't be here because of this or that. look at the differences between Greed Island, the Chimera Ant arc, York New, the Phantom Troop not being around for half of the story, or even main characters like Leorio and Kurapika not being around, are completely understandable and justifiable. You're able to focus in and showcase all of these different things. The reason why we couldn't get like that cool like interaction with Toga and Uraraka explored more thoroughly to the depth that you got Meruem and what was the girl's name?
Oh,
The
Komugi.
Komugi.
Mm-hmm.
Meruem and Komugi, we spent episodes exploring their relationship and
Mm-hmm.
exploring their differing ideologies because every other character took a seat on the back burner for a bit, and it was just a bubble of what was happening in the Chimera Anarchy. You didn't really get as much of that with different characters. You got that for like freaking what's the villain Shigaraki like a billion times, and that can only you can only see that enough times before it just gets old.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of people feel that the supporting cast wasn't used as well. I feel like the supporting cast did as best as they could within the contained story, but that is one of the reasons why a lot of these characters feel so hollow and feel like um or maybe not that they feel hollow, they do feel organic and do feel like they're great characters if you want to see them more, but they have so much unrealized potential because he's just focusing on this like on just the main storyline, what Deku's doing, this and that, blah 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 blah. Whereas Bleach, for example, does the same thing, right? It's just focused on Ichigo the entire time, and
Mm-hmm.
it's all about Ichigo and his friend's journey. However, he knows when to step away and how to make the world seem much bigger than it actually is because Bleach is very self-contained. You're seeing the same characters every arc. Why is it that um, Urahara, Yorichi, their storylines feel so fulfilling? Why is it that Mayuri with Nemu, why is it that his storyline towards the end feels so fulfilling? You feel so much satisfaction when you see the end of some of these characters' storylines, and some of them you don't. Admittedly, like Stark and Ukitake, like we
Mm-hmm.
didn't feel like they were fleshed out enough. Those are two characters, though. In My Hero, that seems to be like 90% of the characters are like Stark and Ukitake. So why is that from story to story? And I think it's just a bad management of the world building. Although the world building itself is decent, like
Mm-hmm.
it does seem to be a flourishing world. You have to know how to manage it. And Oda, Togashi, and Kubo are masters at it. I'd say Oda and Togashi obviously more so, but
Yeah,
that you need to have a mastery of how to manage it. It's one thing to create it; it's another thing to be able to manage it and
exactly.
balance it. Do you think that that's like that's true, or do you think that that's just like maybe no, maybe there's another problem?
There's another side to this because I agree that I feel like besides even just specific ideas, notions, or moments in the story, there's a lot of characters with unfulfilled potential. But I think it's also the problem is Deku. Deku is not enough as a
Oh
main
shit!
character. As painful as it is to say, it seems that he's very one dimensional, he's very one note, and that gets old and boring very quickly. And he doesn't have any compensating factors, which would be his ability in big moments to step up and do what needs to be done without completely damaging his body,
Yeah,
right? Um, so it's like you have a main character that isn't interesting enough and side characters who are captivating. So when you bring those two together, yes, you're definitely going to feel the lack of supporting cast getting fleshed out because you end up caring about them. And I remember we used to jokingly talk about this a lot, but that's just part of our perception of the story where we are more interested by anybody else besides Deku.
yeah,
So that makes the lack of them being fleshed out feel that much more prominent because you're thinking, I really want to see these characters shine, but I can't because I have to keep getting exposed to mid from this main character that I don't really care about or that I don't really care for. And I think that's where a lot of the issue lies. And um because I'm glad you said what you said because I was about to get into that where I feel like with Deku, he remember the gentle arc that
Yeah.
you mentioned earlier? That was one of the only times that I really liked Deku because he seemed competent. He seemed like somebody you could count on.
Yeah.
But that was only that arc. And that wasn't even a main arc. That was just a little side quest that we're doing.
Wow.
As far as I'm concerned, I need my MC to feel like he's that guy because we're focused on him, we're focused on his journey. And I understand it's going to be trials and tribulations. I don't need him to win everything, but I need him to win enough. You remember with Hunter x Hunter, a lot of Gon's main big fights, he didn't win or he barely won, right? But it's everything, his portrayal around all of that, where we're being shown that, oh, he's that guy. It's just that he needs those specific moments on his journey to help him grow and propel him to the next stage. But overall, he's that guy. It's the same way we feel about Luffy, where yes, he's going to have those Kaido fights, those Rob Lucci fights, pre-time skip, where you'll feel like, oh, he's struggling a lot. But outside of that, we know he's that guy. We know he's competent. I look at the My Hero cast, I feel like a lot of the other heroes are competent. But
Yeah.
for what Deku is supposed to be, what he's supposed to represent, he's not. And that hurts my spirit. It bothers me on a deep level, you know? And
Yeah.
I I don't know. It's like if you ask me what was the idea behind that, I don't know. I don't know what Horikoshi was thinking with that.
I don't know what he's thinking half of the time. Because one of the craziest things I see in this story is when Deku had the iconic quote now of saying, "This isn't the story of how I became the greatest hero. This is the story of how we all became the greatest heroes."
I wanted to cry when I heard that. Do you realize I never, when you told me about that, I never even read the chapter. I was so upset. I'm not even gonna go there. There's no way. There's
Did you ever get
absolutely no
around
way.
to it?
No, I'm still like I will eventually because I feel like I've invested enough in that story that I want to see it through to the end. So one day I will sit down and read it all the way through. But for now, dude, I can't. I dread it
Yeah.
because why? This is your journey. This is why we set up from the very beginning. I always get nervous when authors do that, where you start to alter the initial vision because it feels like everything leading up to it was damn near pointless.
Yeah.
Then you should have never told us the story of how I became the greatest hero. Why you say we? Hmm? Like I don't understand that. Just stand on business confidently. This is what the vision was. We're gonna stick with it all the way throughout to the end. That's another reason why, and I hate to bring this man up as often as we do, but it's why I respect Oda so much. He said, and mind you, such a long running story, so many like we sidetracked so many times, and he said, "Oh, my vision for the end of the story has never changed. It's been the
Really?
same to this day. I'm like, see, that's a man who stands on business. Okay, we're not about
Big
to.
time.
Yeah, because when 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 you write a story, right? Usually there's a very core reason why. You had a specific vision, you had a specific message that you wanted to impart on the world. That specific message, that specific vision is the skeleton, is the backbone of your story.
Wow.
The moment you start switching that, your story loses all integrity
Yeah.
because you're basically going back on your vision. You're saying, my vision was not enough.
Maybe
I
hell.
I need to add to it or sidetrack from it where it's becoming something else entirely,
Yeah.
and for me, I can't really, it doesn't sit well with me because you can feel it. You ever have this moment sometimes where you don't even know anything about the author, about the lore of the story, but you watch it or you read it and you can tell something's wrong. You can
Oh,
tell
of course.
something isn't quite right, right? Like remember when they adapted God of High School? I'd never read the original manhwa. I'd heard it was really hype, kind of like Solo Leveling in terms of
Yeah.
hype, which I don't know, man, because I really like Solo Leveling. But
I have to still get into that.
yeah, it's don't expect anything deep. It's just hype. It's just a lot of hype, very aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
So that's basically
Would
it's
you say it's like Bleach kind of, or like?
yeah, yeah, exactly. But even Bleach has more of a story to it than that. But in terms of aesthetics and the fights, yeah, it's definitely like Bleach.
Or that
So,
dog manga, remember the or One Punch Man. Maybe One Punch Man.
oh yeah, yeah, actually, it's kind of like that. I would say it almost has a little bit more substance than One Punch Man. But yeah, yeah, it's kind of like that.
Nice. That's what I like
Yeah,
to see. I
you
love
just
stories like that.
yeah.
People always crap on stories with like low complexity, and I think My Hero Academia, that's is one of the reasons why it should work but doesn't. The author, the Hunter x Hunter comparisons don't come without warrant.
Yeah.
There are some, I mean, it's obviously gets very complex with certain characters and themes, and it's very wordy. There are certain panels that are just even pages that are just words. There's not like
Hmm.
there's nothing happening. It's just explanations of things, and that can be very. I mean, it's literally not exploitation. It's exposition. It's
Hmm.
just an overstimulus of exposition, which is maybe one of the only problems that Hunter x Hunter might have. It's not really that much of a problem because the exposition is interesting.
Hmm.
My Hero gets lost in its exposition, and it just seems to water down the story a little bit. I think
Oh
it
yeah.
would benefit from going a little simpler. I think it was better when it was a little simpler with the Stain arc and even the overhaul arc. Just give them a simple goal, and things will work themselves out in the story will kind of write itself. But when you
Hmm.
start to kind of dawdle with all these complex ideas and this character and what might happen here, and we have to try to throw a side swipe like with Dobby and try to make things really weird and complex and wacky, they start to lose you big time, you know.
Hmm.
So that's what it was with me too, where I really try to give it a chance, just like I do everything. And I was just as hyped as everyone when I read the first chapter of My Hero Academia, and I was like, man, this is like Marvel mixed with anime, and it didn't turn out to be that. But Teddy, I gotta step away for like maybe 2-3 minutes. If you can keep going, give us your thoughts of like what do you, and I'll be listening in. I just gotta go get something real quick, but if a little snack. But
Yeah. No, no worries, man. Hmm.
if you if you were to make your changes to the story, like big glaring issues that you have, I know I have mine, and I'm gonna tell you some of mine. Like your rewrite, you're a My
That's
Hero
an
editor.
exciting. discussion. Yeah.
What are you changing? Because I think it does deserve a little rewrite. You know, it's a great story hiding underneath a lot of fluff. What do you think is the fluff that you would cut out, or what would you add in?
Oh yeah, no,
I'll
definitely. I
leave you
feel
to it.
like yeah, yeah, no problem, no problem. Uh, I think that's a great question because it's something that we always kind of think about. When we have conversations where we think, oh well, this part of the story could have been written this way or that way. I'd say just off of the points we just made earlier, my biggest number one gripe with the story, something I have to fix, is the main character. Deku needs to be rewritten. And mind you, I'm not saying that he needs to completely stop being the kind of softer um, individual that he is, but more so he needs to really, because they're in a school where they're learning to be heroes, and a lot of the time I feel like he's not his own character, where he's more so worried about uh, One for All's legacy, and he's not really thinking about what it means for him to be a hero. And that journey doesn't get explored enough. So that's one thing. Another thing also is I feel like he needs to be more competent. It is unacceptable, in my opinion, that we had so many uh, important fights with him in the story where he's either losing or has to completely, like, damn near completely destroy his body just to win. And then to win his fight but lose the war in the end. To me, that is unbelievably pathetic. That is not what I want from my MC. I feel like my MC should command more presence, more charisma, more aura, as they say. And I feel like I haven't seen enough of that from him, which leans into the other problem that we're discussing, where we feel like we don't get enough of the side characters. And I think that shouldn't be an issue, but it is because we don't have a proper appreciation for the main character. Now, and what makes me say that is because we've had moments in the story where we've seen glimpses of how great he can be. For example, and this is tragic because this happened like two of the three examples I'm about to give for moments where he really shone as a main character happened against his fellow classmates. The first one when he was fighting Todoroki during the UA tournament. That moment when he tries to get Todoroki to use 100% of his abilities to win. To me, that was a glimpse into the potential of his character and what he could be. And I love that. We didn't really get a lot of it after, but that was a moment that I felt like this is my MC. I'm proud of him. I'm proud to call him my main character. The second time this happened was against Bakugo after the whole tragedy with One for All happened, and Bakugo um, was upset that he felt like his inability to get himself out of a sticky situation is what caused um, One for All's demise. And of course, it wasn't. But what that led to was that fight between him and Deku, where Deku realized, as much of a pacifist as I am, I understand that this is a moment where I need to honor his demand because it goes beyond just a silly fight. This is him looking for answers. This is Bakugo looking for answers and also looking for some sort of redemption that maybe uh, he really wasn't at fault. So Bakugo needed that fight, and Deku understood that, and so they fought. And so, what do you notice a commonality between that moment and the Todoroki moment is these are times where you really see Deku's empathetic side, where I think that is one of his best features, and it doesn't always get shown in the best light because other times it just doesn't feel like it belongs in a moment. But these were two instances where it did, and it felt like there was so much potential there, and that needed to be explored a bit more. And I feel like if we could have gotten a little bit more of that, that would have been great. That would have been amazing, and we would probably have a better appreciation for Deku. The third example I was going to bring up was during the Stain arc, which I can't wait for you to come back so we can discuss this because you said something about not liking Stain, and I feel like we need to have this conversation because, in my opinion, Stain was one of the better uh, uh, villains in the story. But that's besides the point. That fight with Stain highlighted what we already knew about Deku, but it did so in a very dope way because you had somebody who became a villain by default. He was a product of society being, or I guess, of hero society being bigoted and having a lot of heroes who become heroes for a paycheck, for a dollar. They're not becoming heroes for genuine heroic reasons. They're not trying to save people. They're trying to save themselves from being broke, and it shows. So, um, when uh, when he confronts Stain, when Deku confronts Stain, and they get to fighting, Stain realizes, oh wait, while I'm fighting all these bigots, or not necessarily bigots, but people who have the wrong motivations for wanting to be heroes, here you are. You're one of the few people who are actually a hero for a good reason. You could be the next one for all. So I'm going to make sure to nurture you properly, but for the time being, please stay out of my way so I can handle these fakes. And I just really appreciated what Stain stood for as a villain, and what and his interaction with Deku in that moment. So you know, I mean, that's also part of the better part of the story for me. Season two, season three with Stain and the UA tournament and all that. To me, that was peak My Hero, and I felt like that's where we realized, oh, this story has the potential to be great. It could be something if it just remains on that course, and and it didn't.
Wow.
That's why we are where we are today, having this conversation.
But the thing is, listen, it's not my fault if My Hero Academia rhymes with My Hero Academy suck. Like,
Oh, bro, come on, man.
this is the thing about it, man. You know, and I was listening to what you're saying, and it gave me some ideas of like things I would change. First of all, first thing we're implementing is Shigaraki dies. He
That's
dies
spicy.
as
Do
soon as he
explain.
fights with what's her name? Star and Stripe.
Mm-hmm.
He's
Mm-hmm.
out. He's out. Just kill him.
Oh
Just
my
take him
God.
out.
You know what's so funny about you saying that is there
What?
are some diehard My Hero fans who hated that.
Yeah, I think
They,
everybody hated that. Who can
yeah,
justify it?
because you have such an amazing character with a dope ability that show up just to die. I mean, she did have a lasting impact though, because didn't she make it so that he couldn't use a bunch of the quirks that he stockpiled?
Yeah, but I mean, with that quirk, like, dude, it's like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
I
It's
know.
just I can punch really hard with the spiky hand. You know, like there was never anything complex about that power to begin with. Like there's potential, and that's another thing.
Yep.
There's
Hmm.
tremendous potential for it to be
Here we
very,
go.
very complex,
Yep.
but it's not. What the hell did All for One do when he was fighting All Might? Absolutely nothing complex, nothing that was out of this world. Like, dude, if you give that power to Togashi or Kubo, or
Oh.
like what do you think they're doing with it? You think they're gonna do that? Oh, I made a big spiky hand. I'm gonna punch All Might really hard with it. Like, are you serious, bro?
Yeah. Yeah. That no. No. They listen. If first of all, you see how Nen is in Hunter x Hunter, Togashi would do crazy things with an ability like that.
Crazy things.
You see stands in JoJo.
Oh my god.
Araki would do crazy things.
Even like Kishimoto, like from
Don't
Naruto,
get
like
don't. I'm not even going to bring up Oda in this because we all know how he
don't
gets
even
down,
bring up Oda. Yeah,
right? So you're absolutely correct. An ability like that, untapped potential, and that's what's so upsetting about my hero. It's just so like the list. We can make a laundry list of all the different aspects of the story that you could say, "Oh, this was a great idea, a great concept." But where did he go? Only God knows.
yeah.
It didn't go very far. No, I agree.
Like this is the thing, Teddy. Like, and that's the thing. It's all lip service. When you said it clicked immediately. Like, oh, you know, she made a lasting impact because she took away like maybe 5 quirks that All for One had stockpiled.
Come on, let's not do
Come on.
that.
That's like nothing. That's like nothing. Nothing changed. It's like saying, "Oh yeah, I'm the best. I'm the best you know, Caribbean restaurant in the Netherlands." Okay, like that's not that big of an accomplishment.
The
I bet you
bar's in hell,
you're
so
probably the only you're probably the only Caribbean restaurant out there in the Netherlands. So
Mhm.
like what are we doing here? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
so that's what
that
it
title
is.
holds no weight. It's empty. Yeah.
It's empty. Yeah. I mean, it's cool. If the food is good, you know, it's cool. It's cool to be able to say, yeah, you know, there's a cool Caribbean food spot in the Netherlands, you know, but yeah, that's cool. But, you know, I'm not expecting the best I've ever had, you know, so
Oh, far
it
from
is
it.
what it is. Far
Yeah,
from it. And it's
yeah.
the same thing here, man. It's the same thing here. People, the thing is too that for me as well, that takes me out of stories is the fans. People hype it up too much, and they hyped up My Hero so much that when it didn't live up to whatever it was that people were saying, it was over for me. It was absolutely over.
Yeah.
And I'm not one that's swayed by hype, mind you. I like Jujutsu Kaisen a lot. It's not even anywhere near as good as Hunter x Hunter from what I've seen.
Mhm.
But I still love it. Still love it, despite the hype or
You know, it's so
overrated.
funny because a lot of the time for me, hype does the very opposite. It makes me hate a story at first because I
Really,
feel like what it does is it skews my perspective of what I should expect based on what other people are saying. And it's one thing to be excited, but once we start making claims like, "Oh, it's like a Hunter x Hunter," I'm like, don't say things like that because I'm going to go in there with the wrong expectations, and then it's going to ruin a potentially enjoyable experience for me.
yeah,
So I try not to listen to those as much.
yeah, exactly. So other things I would change in the story, yeah,
Hmm.
I would listen. There's a lot of useless characters in the class, a lot of them. I would kill them off. Koji,
Oh,
gotta go. Rikido Sato, gotta go. Meizo
oh,
Shoji, gone.
oh man,
Gone, gone, gone. Everybody
the
gone.
Great Purge. Oh Lord.
All of this, Aoyama, definitely gone.
Oh no, we can't get rid of Aoyama.
Aoyama more like freaking Aobama.
Oh no. Listen, he does serve a purpose. He like there's a reason why he's there.
Also the
I
Ojiro,
yeah.
more like Ojiho.
Oh no.
And this is the thing, Teddy. The thing about Aoyama, I get it. But and this is also another problem: the teeter tottering between there's a traitor among the classmates. There's not a traitor.
Hmm.
In the end, it didn't even matter because it didn't amount to really much of anything at all. I would make there be a traitor the likes of which the world has never seen. I'm talking about evil, Eisen level traitor among the students. Eisen level traitor. And
Hmm.
it will be none other than the Invisible Girl. The real traitor right there. Toru will betray them, the likes of which the world has never seen.
Hmm.
And Mineta can stay as is. I think, it's
Hey, let's
you know,
go. That's a W for my boy.
you need a
Let's
bit of
go.
controversy, You need the people that listen, the people will never admit this, but they love to hate him. There's a reason Mineta's name doesn't
They
come out of the
do.
people's mouth.
They
They love to
do.
hate him.
Hmm.
I'll give my boy Tokiyami a little more shine. A lot more shine actually.
Yeah. Oh, dude,
He
he deserves it. He has a
deserves.
cool ability, and he uses it well. So yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. He
he's
deserves
epic.
more shine.
The little moments that he's had, he's been some of my favorite
Hmm.
stuff. Kirishima as well. The little
Oh,
stuff that he's
true.
had
Oh
is
yeah, Red
beast.
Riot. Yeah,
Red Riot is
yeah. Talk
goaded.
to me nice.
Talk
Talk to
to me,
Riot.
guys. There
Yeah.
you go. Kaminari. What does Kaminari do again? Lightning.
Oh god, we just covered this twice in the same podcast. It's crazy, brother. We just covered this. That's
Dude,
insane.
that's how useless he is, man. Like, I guarantee, is it that he can fully control lightning? Or is it that he, like, because this is another thing about My Hero Academia.
Mm.
I would give people concrete powers. Concrete.
Yeah, like
None of
some real
this,
stuff, not gimmicks. Yeah,
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 none of this, oh yeah, I control, like, in a real story, people would just, like, NL, I control electricity. I am electricity. Kaminari, this, like, bootleg, like, weird story. Oh, I'm
Oh
Kaminari.
damn, not the
I
bootleg
can
story.
I can control lightning, but only in my left hands on Saturdays at around 4 to 5 p.m.
Mm.
And the sun has to be up high in the sky, and it has to be about 80 degrees outside for me to be able to do this. It's like useless. Like what kind of power is that? So that's the problem with Kaminari and a lot of these characters. They have too many drawbacks to their abilities, and people say, oh well, it puts stops in place. No, there's no stops in place. The stops in place should be in the story, and they should be like happening in the fight.
Yeah,
Look at NL. Look at all the Logias in One Piece. As strong as they are, there were always stops in place. Crocodile Luffy was able to beat him without Haki because there are stops in place
hmm,
for these abilities.
yeah, exactly. They're built in within the narrative. They're
E-
not. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. You
But
just gotta get creative with it.
you do gotta get creative. But I feel like somebody who did it pretty well is Araki. Oh, Araki.
Araki Jojo?
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
because a lot of the stands they do have their own inherent weaknesses, but you have to find them in order to exploit them. They're not just blatant, you know.
Yeah,
So
big time,
yeah.
man. What else would I change? I think All Might is great as is. I think that the decision of keeping him alive is actually pretty interesting.
Hmm.
Um, it just goes against the grain with most shonen. Like he's still alive, he hasn't died, but he
Yeah,
still impacted the story quite a bit with his actions.
he's a mentor figure. And when we're talking about this, I just get reminded of moments that I really enjoyed my hero. And that's why it hurts me so much when I don't see it living to everything that it could be. Um,
Wow.
you remember when they first get introduced to uh, All for One,
Yeah.
dude? Straight aura, the voice, the presence, the charisma. You saw if there was ever an instance that somebody used something similar to Haki in the story, that's when Alpha One first showed up.
Yeah.
When he pulled up, you had all the kids, the Deku and was it Todoroki? Who was it?
The smoke
Momo.
guy,
Yeah, Momo and Kirishima. They were all there, right? Because they wanted
Kirishima.
to
I meant.
rescue Bakugo. And when All for One pulled up, you just saw the depiction of what that did to them was so wonderful to me. It felt so very real, right? It
Yeah,
felt like, oh no, they are screwed. If they don't move adequately, they're they're about to lose their lives.
big time.
That sense of stake, I love that. That was built up beautifully. And to me, this is one of the times where um, Horikoshi's vision and where he wants the story to go aligned perfectly. This was one of those instances for me because he felt that way. Do you remember
Wow.
the plan that Deku came up with to save Bakugo?
You know, kiss him on the mouth with tongue.
No, my brother.
Like, I wouldn't be
No,
surprised if that was the plan
no,
with
because
that fool.
he had Momo create I forget what she created, but it was a whole plane where they basically skyrocketed into the sky, right?
Yeah,
But and this was a moment where I was like, oh, I love this aspect of Deku because something that we got introduced about with him very early on is that he's very analytical and very observant. So he can usually come up with some of the best solutions because of that. So when they did all that, they you know went up into the sky, and there was that moment where he says, and then the final piece of the plan was that Kirishima needed to be the one to call out to to Bakugo to save him because he was like, I would do it, but I know Bakugo don't mess with me like that. If I call him out to come, he would never come. He'd rather die than they answer my call. So it needs to be Kirishima. And I was like, he crafted that plan so perfectly under pressure when Alpha One was right around there. And I was like, this is one of those moments where it's not even a fight, right? He didn't show that he can really hold his own like that, but it's the mind. Like he
yeah, the
showed that
battle of wits.
exactly in the moments that count, he can come up with a plan that works. I love that, right? And I needed more of that in the
That's
story.
our MC.
Exactly. But we didn't get enough of that. And it's upsetting because then he go against a guy called Muscular.
Oh hell no! Don't even. Oh my god.
like, like, come on, dog. Yeah, let's be for real here. Like, remember when the second Black Panther movie came out? The controversy because the sister who's frail looking and everything was the Black Panther, and she
Oh
stood
yeah.
up to this big guy, and it just the visuals he didn't agree with other people. But I was like, I kind of understand because she's not regular anymore. Yes, she looks frail, but she's not frail. It's like Luffy butting giants. On paper, that shouldn't happen, but he does because he packs a punch,
Yeah, it's
right? So
superheroes.
yeah, exactly. They're different. They're built different.
I
So
love
I'm
how
like,
you
yeah.
described her like food. You're like she didn't sit well like in my stomach. Like it is like like she's a burger or something. Like dude, this burger
Hey, you know
ain't
what? The
going down
patty
right,
stayed out a little too long, man. That meat was kind of questionable. I ain't gonna lie to you.
bro.
Um,
But yeah,
yeah. So it was things like that where I'm like, this is a beautiful moment. Why can't we have more of this? Why do we have to pair him up to go up against somebody like Muscular when we know he's about to get bodied? And the only way that he can win is by using a 1,000,000% smash. Like, let's get real here. You know?
yeah, 1,000,000%. Are you serious? Like,
I
dude,
understand what they were going for because he was supposed to be a representation of using all your wits and your guts to win a fight that you should normally lose. But let's be honest. Come on,
it was
dog.
whack, man. Dude,
It
listen,
didn't ring well for me.
don't give her credit, man. If
Guess
that
what? Guess
was
what?
in
Guess what? It didn't
what?
sit well with me. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
if that was in Bleach, if that was in One Piece, people would be going crazy. Like this is the most basic. Like this is why Shonen sucks, you know.
hmm
But since it's
Yeah.
my hero, people are like, "Oh, this is incredible! Look at him! I'm crying!" Like that.
You
That just
know,
shows you the Lulu, the Lulu.
this is
That's what they
true.
call it
This,
nowadays.
yeah. No,
You know.
and I think all great artists are victim of this, where because they've gotten their fandom used to such a high standard, if they do stuff that other regular stories do, they get a lot more scrutiny and backlash for it.
Wow.
Like, because I feel like, for example, a story like My Hero or like Jujutsu Kaisen, things like that, they could get away with certain sloppy storytelling moments that Oda cannot,
Yeah.
if we're being honest, because he's built up such a solid catalog that people refer to that and they hold him to that standard. I remember somebody said it one time because I think it was JD Legend, because he was getting tired of people always criticizing him for his criticism, ironically, of the
Yeah.
story sometimes. Where, and then he just, and I love this when you really put matters in perspective for people so that they can reevaluate their criticism of you. He just basically lay out examples of moments in the story where Oda did everything he was supposed to do and he delivered, right? And he said, you see, when I have concerns or when I complain, I'm not comparing Oda to anybody else out there. I'm comparing him to himself.
Wow.
That's the standard that he set. And so when you're that great, sometimes it's hard, man. It's hard to live up to your own greatness sometimes.
It is hard, but you know the thing is, and I think
Mm.
that's it highlights one of the biggest problems with My Hero for a lot of people. Yeah, there's themes. Yeah, there's decent characters, and this and that, and there's some good scenes here and there. But there's just something about it for most people that it just doesn't sit right with me. I can't
Hmm.
watch it. Like, I'm not 12 years old. I can't watch this. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, this stuff is built for a special type of breed of people. I'm sorry. It is what it is, man. And the My Hero Academia fans, they are insane. They've lost their minds, and they need help. They
Oh
need help.
no.
And just look at that. Let's look at their characters that they like. Look at this. That's psychopathic. That's not nice. You know, that's not uh uh a good example of
You know
a
what's
rational
funny?
citizen.
You almost sound like a parent. When you said that psychopath, that's not nice. That sounds like a parent. I'm like, oh my god, this is crazy.
Dude, it's the truth, man. It's the absolute truth. I just don't
Also,
even.
I don't like what picture you just stopped on because the question under that,
You think so?
how old is Toga? Why are we asking that question?
Bro, you know why. You know why. And this is one of the. This is a problem with anime, actually, which we have to get into as a whole. But I mean, it's gonna be. I don't think it's touchy subject. I think it's there's a lot of weirdos, and you know, it doesn't have to be exposed, but it definitely should be talked about because it seems to be an issue, especially with anime fans in particular.
Hmm.
And we know
Yeah.
a lot of these anime fans, they're they're older, man. They're not, not every anime fan is very young. So,
I mean,
and
yeah, you're right. You're
there's
right.
certain things in anime that are very strange, which we can get into on a different podcast. It has nothing really to do with My Hero Academia, but I think we've covered a lot with My Hero. I feel like we could even go on for much longer, but you
But
know,
we can because we haven't really touched on the villains like that. Because I wanted to fight you about that stain statement you made.
oh yeah, Stain freaking sucks, dude.
No, see,
Stain
we can't
freaking
have that,
blows.
bro. That's a lie. He
Stain
doesn't
is an
suck.
idiot.
Wow. Why are we being so
Let me look up a picture of
blasphemous?
Stain. Let me see a picture of Stain right here.
Do you remember what he was about, man?
Explain it. Explain it for the people.
He was fighting the bigotry in hero society, brother.
Bruh.
His issue was that there were a lot of people who became heroes for absolutely the wrong reasons. And he was going to be the beacon of hope for future heroes to teach them the proper motivations to have when you want to become a hero. And brother stood on business.
By
He
killing
was
heroes.
not killing them. He was um
Look at his face.
yeah, he look kind of wild, don't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen a
I
lot of
mean,
people say they don't like his design. I think his design is fine.
right?
Hey, let's talk about it. His design is kind of raw. Let's be honest
I
now.
think it's the no-nos that a lot of people don't like for some reason. But
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
what can you do? It looks
Oh,
pretty cool.
is that Zabuza I see right there?
That's one of the first people I thought of when I thought
Yeah.
of this guy.
State. Yeah, yeah,
Where's
yeah. He looks.
Zabuza?
I think he's in the middle there, right? Or am I tripping?
Here? No, that's just Stain.
No, up there, like
Up here?
above. Yeah. Oh, they're just
No,
saying. Yeah, you're
that's
right.
just Stain. I think that's his winter outfit. That's his winter
No,
drip.
you're right. I was like, I was looking at it. It was a small
Oh my God!
Lady Nagan.
Thank
Ooh,
God for
I
Lady
love Lady
Nagan.
Nagan. I love
Oh
Lady
my
Nagan.
God!
She's
Yeah,
so
forget
badass.
Stain, man. This is what you know. What
Here we go.
I
Here we
think
go.
I think My Hero Academia is going up on my ranking because the thing is this, Teddy, and let me tell you this, you guys, and this is the truth. When I saw
Oh
Lady
no. Hey,
Nagan,
hey, guys, just so you know, anytime you hear this man say this is the truth, he's about to spew some nonsense. Yeah, go ahead.
so when I saw Lady Nagan, and sometimes you even see Lady Nagan, and she's amazing, and you even see her sometimes. You say, "Wow, this is amazing."
Oh
And
God.
I saw Lady Nagan, and I'm not gonna lie, I think that fight with Deku versus Lady Nagan,
That was actually so fire.
I think it was probably the greatest fight of all time in all of anime history. And look at
Mhm.
this. Look at
You
this
see,
panel.
this is the nonsense I was talking about.
And then this is where the My Hero Hunter x Hunter panels come in comparisons come into play. Where does Hunter x Hunter have a panel like this with this
Yeah,
art,
I know, right?
you
This
know?
kind of raw. I can't lie. Actually, all jokes aside, this is kind of raw.
It
I
reminds
like
me of like
this.
Claymore for some reason, the way it looks, and
Mm-hmm.
I love
Yeah.
Claymore. Claymore's another great story we gotta I think we covered once, but it would be good to.
Yeah, we kind of delved into a little bit. I'm not
I
gonna
didn't
lie
know
to
her
you.
what?
Mm-hmm.
I
You didn't
didn't
know
know
her
her
what?
color scheme was purple.
Dude, I didn't. I mean, I knew, but because I read it in the manga before the anime came out, and when I saw her color scheme, let's just say it did some wonderful things to me. I was like, you know what? I like what I see. I like what I see. I feel like for her character archetype, that color scheme matches beautifully. It's kind of like
Yeah.
Karakuri, where we thought his hair was gonna be black, but it's like a dark burgundy, purplish color.
Yeah.
It works. It works. I like the design for her. You know, when I see this, I get reminded the female cast in My Hero is actually pretty solid. I ain't gonna lie.
Female hero cast? Or just
Yeah,
female cast in
the
general?
female cast in general, the female
I
cast in
think
general
so.
is pretty solid.
Do you think that like people get more excited for female characters? I think would you say we're in a male dominated like sphere of like the like most anime watchers are male? Let me search it up
I
just to
would say
see.
so. I would say so. There's a lot. Well, see, it's hard to say because I feel like well, it's changing now gradually, but on average, girls who are into anime are more quiet about it than
Yeah.
guys. Like if you go to an anime convention, for example, you probably see a lot more guys than girls, and that may not necessarily be a reflection of the demographic in terms of how many males versus females watch anime, but it's more so males are more comfortable in their um, weebiness than girls are. Or
Yeah.
in general, on average, like you're gonna have girls, of course. They not only are they gonna show up to the anime convention, they're gonna show up in cosplay, right? So it's different,
Oof, cosplay goes
but
hard.
yeah,
But yeah, so
sometimes they go hard.
I found this study by the in 2022 by the Morning Consult survey. It says that anime fandom in the U.S. is 61% male and 39% female.
But see, I always ask myself, how do they know?
How well, yeah? How do they survey
Like
this?
how do they survey? That's what I mean. Yeah, exactly.
Because
Is it
I
like an
wasn't surveyed.
anonymous
Because I
survey?
wasn't surveyed, and we're
Oh
anime
wait,
fans.
hey wait, how do you identify? Do you as a man, woman, non-binary? What's your
Who, me?
yeah,
Well, I would say I'm a man,
yeah,
but
same.
um, yeah,
Hmm.
that's it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
There's nothing.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's
No, no,
nothing
no.
else to it.
That's good.
22. Oh yeah, that's good.
No, I'm with it. I'm with 100%. I'm right there with you.
48%. Interesting.
No. Mm.
Even in Japan, 62% male high school students watch anime. Only 48% of females do. So
Hmm.
it's like it seems to be a male dominated. So like I think like people get more excited for these female
You know
characters.
what I think would be more interesting
What?
if we looked at the demographic based on the anime genre. Because if you're looking at shonen, I'm pretty sure yes, it's gonna because it's targeted more towards a male audience. It's in the
Yeah.
name. But what about shoujo? Hmm? What about seinen?
Ooh.
Slice of life. Right? I feel like some of these you may see a little difference on our
Shoujo
end.
is all the girls.
It's
All the
probably
girls.
mostly right, and that's what I mean when I'm like,
And I've read my fair share of shoujo, but you know what? It's all just because I was trying to get a girl. I'm gonna be honest.
oh, talk
It
about it.
was never that good. I just wanted
Oh,
to, get in some cheeks. It's as simple as that.
oh Lord, have mercy on
It's
my
as simple,
soul.
and I
This man is a
succeeded too.
poser.
I succeeded too. I succeeded. So mission accomplished. Let's just say that.
Mission accomplished. No, oh, dude. Honestly though, there's some good treasure out there, man. There's some good
Yeah,
treasure out there. You just have
like,
to look
and
hard
this is
for
the
it.
thing. People are gonna get. They may get
Offended.
flustered, offended.
Hmm.
But listen, shoujo girls that are into shoujo are always the hotter anime fans. If she's into shonen, she's for the streets.
Oh, oh
It is as
no!
simple as that. It is
Talk
as
crazy
simple as
now. Why'd you say that?
it is as simple as that. It's just from experience and biological fact. You know when Charles Darwin went
Yeah.
to the Galapagos Island and he observed the birds and he was like, these birds are evolving and they
Hmm.
they created the theory of evolution and natural selection or whatever. That's
Yeah.
what I've done by observing anime fans that are particularly women. And
Based on the kind of anime they're into. Wow.
based on the kind of anime they're into and
Such
observing
careful
them,
and thorough research.
and I have tools at my disposal that allow me to, continuously observe and monitor these findings.
Okay, that
Um,
sound crazy, but yeah, go on.
and through it's still developing theory, but that's what I have so far. And sports anime girls are usually pretty
I
hot
feel like
too.
they're pretty wholesome.
Yeah, great personality.
Hmm.
Type to wife up.
Unproblematic. Yep, exactly.
Exactly. But if she's for
Okay.
shonen, dude, stay very far away because she's
Steer
she's out
clear,
of
baby.
she's out of her mind most likely.
Oh Lord.
And especially the big three, as good as they are, if she's into one of the big three, she's a psycho.
Oh, she from them streets. Oh no.
But yeah, man. But no, I think My Hero Academia is a good story, even to the end where a lot of people hate it. I think it's a good story. I think it had some great moments, and I don't think it deserves complete hate, but I think it should be taken into account and as a lesson of how to not ruin a story, how to maybe write a better story, and for fandoms, how to not jump the gun and start overhyping your story as if it's the greatest thing ever when
Hmm.
you're gonna look dumb because a year or two down the line you're not even gonna read it anymore and you're gonna be talking crap about it looking like a fool. Like 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
you were saying it's the greatest story of all time. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh, this thing sucks. It's just foolish behavior. The wise man sits quietly and listens, and the fool talks a lot, just babbles on and on and on and on, just like me.
Hmm.
So like, don't be a fool, and
But
don't
see,
read My Hero Academia.
I'll give you an example though before we get out of here. It's
Yeah,
like, do you remember how crazy it was for us when we were reading Tower of God?
yeah,
That's an amazing story, right?
oh yeah,
But the thing is, let's say that towards the later half of season three or season four, the quality of the story starts to dip. It still doesn't change the fact that season one through three were gas, right?
oh of course, yeah,
Yeah, so I think that's where it goes sometimes for some of these people where
they don't want to hype it up too much, but they can't help themselves because they're being exposed to peak. And I feel like that's probably. I mean, um, I never saw that for my hero, and I mean, I saw the potential, like we've been saying all podcast long, but it was never to the point where I was like, oh yeah, you know what? This is it. This is the GOAT. They're replacing the big three. It's over. I'm like, hey, relax, relax. You know, yes, it's really good right now. Let's see where it goes. And when he proves itself, then you can sing its praises. But until then, just calm down. But dude, yeah, you had me, man. That season 2 ending of Tower of God. This was one of the few times that I felt physically exhausted from reading, bro. The hype was too much. You had to
The hype from which one?
for Tower of God.
Oh yeah,
The end of season 2, yeah.
that was incredible. Like this is the thing I told you about it, and this is the thing. There's a difference between like I don't feel like I was overhyping it. I was hyping it correctly, and you can
I was
just be
hyping it
excited.
correctly.
You know, you
That's insane, bro.
because this is the
Oh my
thing, man.
god.
I told you how it is, and I don't have to start shitting on a story to do it. I don't have to start disparaging other things to bring this up. You know, like I
Mhm.
wasn't telling you like, yeah, Teddy, what are you doing reading Hunter x Hunter? That stuff sucks. Read Tower of God. It's like a million times better. Like people do with My Hero.
Yeah.
People like they never just give you a normal recommendation like, oh, you read One Piece? That's great, man. Yeah, cool story. You should check out My Hero. It's pretty good too. Like great world building, great cast. No, it's always like, oh my god, One Piece. Don't read that. Like they start like malfunctioning, decomposing,
Hmm.
like as if they're paid to be certified One Piece haters. Um, which they probably are. It's actually one of my great conspiracy theories that there are people out there that are paid to be, and they're paid very, 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 very generously and
Hmm.
graciously to be One Piece haters. And you see some of these payments sometimes, and you say, "Wow, they're in the tens of thousands." You can guarantee it, and it's been studied. And you know, I will never sell out. I will never take any one of those payments. It take tens of millions of dollars to get me to take a straight dump on One Piece. But you know, that's pretty much all I've got to say to wrap up, Teddy. Do you have any kind of last thoughts or words on My Hero and anime as a whole? It seems like we've touched on a lot.
No, man. I think we've done the rounds. We've been through everything. I want to say that this was the one episode we dedicated to the story to this topic, but it can come up again in different ways, man. At any point in time, we could be talking about something else, and something about that topic would relate back to this topic. So just keep your ears peeled out for that. Other than that, I mean, it was a great conversation that I felt needed to be had. And honestly, I must say I was shocked that you did not rag on Deku like you normally do. You showed him a little bit more grace today. I appreciate that. But uh, yeah, man, I think we did the rounds. Um,
Yeah, we did it, man. We did the thing. We got aggressive with it a little bit there towards the end,
it,
and
it's passion. That's all it is.
it's passion. It's passion about the fruits of life,
That's
which
right.
My Hero Academia is a fruit of life that is was never able to ripen fully, unfortunately, for me.
Unfortunately, tragic, really.
But for
Mm.
those that it did ripen fully for, that you think it's a great story, man.
Hey,
Uh,
enjoy that meal, baby.
yeah,
Yeah.
happy for you. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's it from us. It seems we're gonna catch you on the next one next week. It's gonna be a good one. Um, and yeah, we will see you later. Peace.
Peace.